goodness sake, every bloody time.
But of course.
I'm gonna have to cut that because that is just gonna be. It's not even like an inference of it. It's just there, right?
Yeah, it's not even like slightly just clipped this time.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even. There was a deliberate pause to make sure the whole blooming sentence was in, or word rather. Hi everybody, welcome back. We are here to do a very short recording to get another episode out. As you can obviously tell, it is not all 5 of us. At this current point in time, hopefully just for this one occasion, Becky is not only not very well at the moment, but also has quite a lot on their hands. So has taken the decision that they are not available tonight, and that's fair enough. Yeah, so with any hope that is only a temporary thing. If Becky watches this video before the next time we record, I hope that you feel well soon, because frankly quite a lot of us are drained from 2023. It is being quite a year, and we'll leave it at that with our general comments on how things have gone so far. But yeah, we've got the situation where we are back. We are going to do episode number 67. That's the other reason why Becky needs to come back next time, because otherwise she'll miss that episode. And I dread to think what's going to happen in that episode. So yes, it'll just be nice. Let's just say that. So we are back, episode 67. We're going to do a little bit of light recording with the guys that are here, and we're gonna get something out for everyone. We are still going to be on Foundry, and this is still the Abomination Vaults. This is still Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play podcast. And you know, we're just going to chill. We're just going to kick back, because at the end of the last episode, I confused the living daylights out of this lot, because they had this plan. They had this awesome plan that they thought was going to come through. They were going to march up to the mayor, and they were going to effectively say, come on now, give us this blooming thing. We need it. And the mayor came out and said, I need your help, before they even had a chance to say anything else. So, for the most part, we're going to go straight back in. We are going to get our music going for Atari. And we are going to swing over to the correct screen. So stood in front of you is the mayor. He... This is where I've completely forgotten his name. He is called. Where is it? I mean, I'd just like to have his name. Thank you very much. I've completely gone. Wow. You'd think I know what I'm doing, but I don't.
Hashtag not a professional.
Not a professional. Completely lost the name of the mayor, but of course I have. Menhemes is his last name, and I'm absolutely happy that I know that.
Isn't Mayor his first name?
Mayor is not his first name, as much as you wish. I believe it is. I think it's Joseph, but I'm starting to really struggle to find anything in my... Oh, come on. I cannot find anything in my notes. That's brilliant. Well done. Really struggling with that one now. It's Osif. There you are. Osif Menhemes. Okay. I had a picture of him last time. There he is, for everybody to see. Quite stern looking, but as he sort of approaches you guys and comes out to the gates, his demeanour changes very, very quickly as he sees the three of you, which would include Neffy, but Neffy's kind of meandering and wandering off and disappearing over to Rin's, because that's where she likes to disappear off to when she's in a bit of a mood. The mayor looks at all of you after saying he needs your help. Look, I know that you've probably heard quite a lot about my demeanour and the way I am. I'm being a strict mayor that has run this town for some time, but in truth, part of my concern has always been the betterment of the town, building it up, but also my family. I'm trying to be this sort of figurehead for the town. I can't show favouritism to anybody, and I can't be seen to sort of rely on too many folks. But I might have a problem, and I think perhaps you might be the best people to look into this for me. You see, my family, my children need some help. Some of the work will be light-hearted. Some of the work will be potentially beneath you. I'm not sure, but we'd pay for it, because you're certainly yourself, Mosrun. I remember you when you were younger, and Invar, I believe it is. You're a bit more worldly than some of the people that we have come visit here, and you're now seen as heroes as well. And so some of this is going to sound fairly low level to you guys. You might find it a little bit funny that I'm even asking you this, but we would pay you to effectively be tutors for our children. And then that's not the thing I need help with, by the way. That's just something I'm willing to offer as potential reasons and excuses for you to come visit. The one of the wings of the family house has always been a museum that people can access anyway. So you could just get away with just saying that, but we'd be inviting you into the more private area of the building. And you tutoring our children might be an excuse for you to do this. Because the other problem I've got is with my eldest daughter, Dorianna. She has dreams that are very strange. Every now and again, I can convince her to tell me about what's happening to her, but she doesn't open up to me. I'm her father. Your worldliness, the fact that you aren't locals, more importantly, the fact that you are the local heroes now of the town. She might be willing to talk to you, and at the moment it's the only thing that we haven't tried is to give her somebody that she might look up to open up to and to talk to, because some of the dreams that she's mentioned, I swear she told me of a tale of a story it was so accurate to something I was doing at the time. Piece of work that I was signing off on, a shipment to go over to Absalon of woodwork and all the rest of it. She told me of this dream that she had in which she knew the exact numbers on the ledger, like perfectly. And I don't understand what's happening to her. Because she saw she saw into I don't know how to explain it. She saw something that one of the guards was hiding from the captain in a dream. And then when I went to speak to the captain, the guardman had been arrested for doing exactly what she dreamed about.
Well, it's definitely in the category of concerning. We can certainly try and talk to her, I imagine. I'm not one for magically walking about the place myself. It might be something for someone else to pick up on, but we can certainly try and offer alternatives, perhaps. Someone else to talk to.
Well, I think
Finval's looking steadily more horrified as this goes on.
I think the thing from my perspective is just it's just having somebody on hand in case something happens. I just want to know that you. I just want you to get to know her, because I think if something really serious happens in these dreams, if she's not willing to talk to me, then perhaps she'd be willing to talk to somebody else. I could just be crazy. It's been a handful of things. She may have overheard conversations, actually seen my ledgers when I wasn't looking. It could be anything, but she won't talk to me. She calls me crazy for bringing it up. And maybe just having someone there that isn't me and isn't my wife that can just lend an ear.
So I'm not sure why you think we're suitable, because we're spending most of our time in the ruins and not here.
And I accept that. I do understand that. I do understand you have duties elsewhere and they have a priority. And I mean, look, I've clearly hijacked why you came here. I'm really sorry. I just took an opportunity. You have to understand. You've become, for want of a better term, celebrities. And I almost felt that maybe, just maybe, this is the kind of thing. I thought in all the stuff that you had done and travelled and all the worldly ways in which you've been around, maybe this was maybe it was just, as I say, a flight of fancy, that it would pique your interest.
It is interesting, yes, and it does show tendencies, and perhaps those tendencies are best served, at least with a little bit of attention and an eye opener as to what they are. I can appreciate that any kind of far sight or nightly visions can be concerning. As I say, they're not particularly in my realm, but I'm aware of others that do have them or have the capability to have them. So, sure, we can try and talk to her. We can try and make ourselves available, perhaps. Or at
If
least
looks could
even
kill, Moz would be smoking boots at that "we could do this" comment. Invel is not happy.
Have we ever seen Inver happy?
I don't think so, not really.
You have rarely seen her looking literal daggers from her eyes. She's not normally that angry.
Oh, of course, Phelan can't see any of this.
That's fair.
As I say, Moz has only said, can try and make ourselves available. But yeah. So it is a little bit of a step away from why we come up here, and perhaps we have a little bit of focus vision at the moment because there is something very pressing, but perhaps it's a conversation we can have amongst ourselves and see what we could do.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're obviously, as I said, you're quite busy. You've come up here for a reason. What can we do here to help you?
In short, you have a brooch linked to one of the previous heroes of Atari. We have gathered a sword, a set of lockpicks, a large book, and a few other items of note with which we need to perform some form of strange ritual or bounce off of a magical shield, because herself is active far below the tower, and we need to get in and kill her. And it's not unreasonable to believe that we're going to need certain artifacts to get there, and yours seems to be the last one, or the one you do currently hold seems to be the last one that we would need.
So, before I get too far into this remaining conversation, for what you have done for the town, for what you have effectively done for me previously, you are more than welcome to have the brooch.
Just for a short time. Just for us to be able to gain access and do what's necessary. We have no intention of retaining it.
I hear what you're saying, but actually, truth be told, I would be remiss not to reward you for what you've done. You've earned my support previously. You've talked and done various things. You may not have known it, but I have been a supporter of what you've done, and certain things have been brushed aside based on, and there have been people involved and guards that have been around for you, and you might not have noticed, but there have been people watching out for your return to find out how things are going. Those are all things that I have arranged. And as I say, you have my support. If the brooch can be of use to you, not only for this ritual, but going forwards, you may keep it.
Thank you.
However,
Appreciate that and the help that you've given.
there is a continuation to this line of questioning, if you don't mind. You mentioned a brooch, a set of lockpicks and various other things from Atari that you've previously found in other places. You mentioned a book, and you mentioned the fact that you have a sword. A sword which, to the best of my knowledge, had recently been stolen by Carmen Rajani.
We stole it back.
That's not an inaccurate statement.
Should I ask what has happened to Carmen?
You may ask any question you please, we may not answer it.
There's a bite in your tone that I am willing to back away from this part of my queries based on that bite. All
From
I
your
would
perspective, if I may briefly interrupt, is it better if he is still breathing or not from your perspective?
It is better that he is still breathing. He is still, as far as I am concerned, or have been concerned, a member of the Atari Society and a part of its history. His choices are questionable.
Let me reassure you that the bite in my tone was not aimed at you.
And he is still breathing. Everyone has walked away from that particular engagement intact.
Okay. Look, the sword itself, for all of Carmen's anger over the situation with it, the sword at the time when the sword was recovered, the Rajani family made the choice to have no involvement financially or manpower wise to recover it. It was my family that paid for the men and the equipment to recover the sword. And on recovering the sword, we made the statement that it should be part of Atari's collection as a whole, the city, not ours, not my family's. And it has sat in the Dawnflower Library since as a mark of Atari. Does Carmen have a claim of it? Yes. Did I feel that over the time that it has been a symbol of Atari itself, that it had got to the point where it should not be sold? Yes, I had. Make of that what you will. It is now in your possession.
It will remain at least until we are done dealing with the problem in your ruins.
Yes. Now, I'm happy to hand you the brooch. I would request that, as it is getting late in the day now, and I would very much appreciate if you were to meet with Dorianna before you were to head back down. That perhaps a night's rest, and then you return in the morning before you head anywhere, and I will give you the brooch in the morning.
I can't see any particular issues with that myself. I won't speak for my colleagues and for the rest of my party, but I have no issues with this.
Well, we'll meet you 2 hours after dawn.
Early is fine with me. I shall be up already.
Well, that rather solves that one then, I suppose.
So you head back into town to find Phelan?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Neffy has decided...
There is a conversation on the way, mind.
What I will say is Neffy has disappeared into Rins and will stay there for the night. So that's...
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable.
No, there is absolutely a conversation along the lines of, look, if you want to mentor some flighty young thing who's suddenly getting visions, that's on you, but you don't get to rope me into it, or indeed any of the rest of the party, without asking them.
As I said, we can have a conversation. I did not volunteer anyone other than myself, and I repeatedly said, I do not have experience here, but I am willing. I didn't say anybody else was willing. I said we'd have a conversation and we'd discuss, and maybe there might be something that could be done. Maybe implies a no as much as a yes. And people tend to read as much as they want either way of it.
Mm-hmm.
From my perspective, we need a thing.
Which we are going to get.
Absolutely.
Without babysitting some flighty psychic.
Yeah. I am marginally interested in the fact that the lighthouse has gone active, and suddenly the young one is picking up strange and weird and wonderful dreams. Belcora is an undead critter, or of some form of magic user. We know they're more than capable of weaving spells and magics that last decades, and more than capable of reaching out, either through cultists or their now dead boyfriend, or otherwise, to cause issues out here. So, might not be a bad thing to poke and see if the young potential magic user is being influenced. If they're not, fine. I imagine that kind of thing is probably fairly obvious. But then again, I don't know. I'm not a magic user. Also, it might be of more interest to Phelan, considering he lives here. Or to Neffy, wherever she's got to in the end. Because she lives here. So, having Belcora Mark II growing up down the corridor or down the street might be slightly problematic.
Mm-hmm. It might.
So, again, people with skills and abilities or otherwise inclinations to either wheedle out the truth, magically assess, or otherwise investigate might not be a bad thing. Neffy might spot that they're just being a sneak thief and walking around the place. Phelan may have some kind of inkling as to Wibble and what's going on.
Wibble.
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 I could have said woo woo. Good to see you, Phelan. How's the room coming along?
Rune-like. Do we need to get a pair of underpants and some pencils?
Quite possibly. The
Right.
good news is we're not going over the top with this just yet.
Excellent.
Apparently, the mayor's daughter has been either seeing things prophetically in her dreams or is a bit of a sneak out. But either way, the mayor's spooked. Would like us to sleep up there and or possibly mentor the small thing. I'm mildly worried that it's Belcora Part 2. But in other good news, we've just been gifted the brooch, possibly in perpetuity. So we've got all again.
We have a verbal assurance of that. We don't actually have it.
So you've
Oh, yeah,
not
we
had to pin
need to
anyone
sleep
to the
overnight.
wall yet?
Nope.
Nearly moles.
That would have been interesting for everyone to watch.
Trust me, neither of us were going to enjoy it. It's not that kind.
Right.
Yeah. So essentially, we need to stay there overnight, or at least most of us do, just have a conversation and maybe see if the young one wants to open up to us, or at least see what kind of magically woo-woo is going on. And we get the brooch in the morning. I say most.
Well, it sounds less hassle than trying to break down that magical shield with my head.
I generally agree. We will be there a little while otherwise.
Or nephew said.
I mean, eating Neffy at it repeatedly and playing, Wallies with them might be a little bit awkward.
Might knock some sense into Neffy. I mean, nothing else has worked.
In, out, it's a 50-50 choice.
Well, You know me, I'm always happy to help out.
And it is appreciated. I mean, at the end of the day, as I was saying, you're here more often, as is Neffy. I'm back for a bit, but maybe not back for a while, beyond what's going on with this current crisis. There's half a chance you might be able to check in every so often, or at least be a point of contact for the mayor.
Yeah?
Okay. So the conversation goes into the evening. I don't know how deep or how angry it gets, but it bounces backwards and forwards between multiple levels, I'm sure. And come the dawn light, you are up and about, and within 2 hours of the dawn, there is a march up the hill.
Weren't we supposed to be talking to somebody last night? Or did I miss that? Did I misunderstand that?
Don't think so.
Okay, fine.
Don't think so.
Okay. Alright.
Are you...
Just each other. Cool.
You head up the hill to the gate where Menhemes is already stood waiting for you. Morning. Phelan, it's good to see you. If you would just come this way, we'll take you through to meet. Under the pretense, all of the children will be there. Hang
on, no, I'm sorry. We came back to get the brooch. We didn't come back to babysit your nuts teenager.
No, I told you very clearly you could have it after you met her.
I'm walking back and putting the other rune on my kit. Come and pick me up when you got the brooch, guys. I'm going to go back to our rooms and transfer this rune over.
I see she has some problems.
Definitely in the category of personal issues. But 2 out of 3? 4? Wherever Neffy's hidden.
I've seen her about this morning. I'm sure she's fine. No, two is fine. That'll be okay. Please come this way. You're taken into the mayor's house. Now, one of the wings has been entirely opened up for people to go in and see various sorts of paintings and sculptures and local art of the history of Atari. Lots and lots of bits and pieces of varying qualities, mostly not great, depicting the Rose Guard and their fight against Belcor and the Gauntlight throughout the years and how it's deteriorated. Quite a few recent things with lots of Cobol, various sorts of raids that have happened on the town and all the rest, all the bits and pieces and sort of things along those lines. And there is also a signpost, a tavern sort of thing of the Thirsty Alpaca, which is the inn which recently collapsed. They managed to rescue the board from the front of it, which is of an alpaca drinking from a pint mug that it's managed to tip up, this has been sort of rescued. It's one of the few things that has been rescued from that specific tavern, and that's been put up in here as well. As you progress through to the other side, you can see that one of the wings has been permanently closed, and if you do ask Osif what on earth is going on there, he simply realised that he couldn't afford to keep running the entire building. He's cut everything down to a fairly limited staff, just enough to run the place, just enough to look after his 5 kids, the nannies and things like that, and they've got a cook and all the rest of it. But large portions of the building which were just used for administrative stuff, which can be done by himself, he's kind of closed off that wing because there's no point in having it there. He can go, he can deal with that. But the other wings, this being a cross-shaped building, is where his family reside. And as you walk in, it's chaos. The kids are running around, they're playing games, they're perfectly healthy and fine, but there's 5 kids running around with the odd 1 or 2 people, the mother running around trying to look after them, the nanny trying to run around looking after them. It's bedlam. There are toys everywhere. There's sort of there are family and communal rooms and things like that, but lots of them have become playrooms. And then there's bedrooms and various other sort of bits and pieces as you progress through this building. It would appear that not only is Osif himself looking, as he steps through, he kind of goes, oh. There's a kind of drop of the shoulders and a little bit of, oh God, here we go again, resignation as he steps into this place. But he manages to gather his kids together. They seem pretty devoted to him. So as soon as he steps in, all of that noise, it does increase, but it's all about, Daddy, Daddy, come do this, Daddy, come and look at this. And he's kind of tries to get involved and ushers the kids in. For the most part, the younger kids are not appearing in this show and therefore do not have names and things like that. So we'll bypass them. They're not mentioned in the AP, so we'll just let them be background. They're just there. And they're very polite and they're very nice and they do ask you about what you're doing in the Abomination Vault. You know, what's going on down there with what you've been doing in the Gauntlight Tower. It's so amazing. You guys are fantastic. Why are you here? Daddy says that you're going to talk to us about like the big world and all the stuff that's happening in Atari when you have time. You know, Daddy says you're busy, so we can't always talk to you all the time. But we understand that you might come and every now and again chat to us, and that would be really cool. However, stood in one corner, dressed very plainly, simple dress, pinny frock type thing over the top of it. Hair is pulled back, tied, kept out of the way. Apart from like the front, which falls down in front of her face to almost hide her eyes, is Dorianna. She's looking at you as you come over. How may I help you, sir? Sirs.
Is that a case of you helping us, or a case of us being able to tell you what's out there, sometimes in exciting ways and sometimes in mundane ways, giving you a bit of a sight beyond 4 walls, sight beyond town?
I appreciate what you're offering, but my place is going to be here at some point. The work won't get done if Daddy has to do all of it on his own. So I'm trying to learn how best to help him.
And part of that is learning what goes on beyond Atari, because what happens beyond Atari affects Atari. And your father, as much as he may or may not leave town often, will have people who do leave town for him, who bring news. So learning to talk to us, learning to talk to people like us, will become part of those duties.
Would you explain to me why you have a nail hidden in your armor?
Precisely because it is uncomfortable.
That seems very strange.
It is. It is part of my order. It is part of a reminder. And it is a part of our lessons and a part of our discipline. That we can ignore certain levels of pain or certain discomforts in order to achieve an end.
You're part of the Hell Knights.
Correct. As a question, do you recognize and were you taught about our armors, about our orders, or is this something you've learnt on your own half?
No, noticed it.
Interesting, considering very few people observe my morning routine sufficient to see the nail. You have sharp eyes.
Yes, sharp eyes. I would like to ask another question.
Not unreasonable to ask.
The Hell Knights are from Cheliax.
That's a statement. It is an accurate one.
Why do you still work or want to be a Hell Knight after you have seen the way that people are treated in Cheliax? Is it not, from what I am aware of, the power is given to those who are able to summon creatures from the hells, and those that are not are almost slaves?
You are not entirely incorrect, but there are some potential inaccuracies, is what I would say. I would question again where you learnt this, because how and who you learn from is as much an important thing as the learning of it, the information itself.
I must have read it in a book.
An interesting choice of books. I must talk to your father about his library.
Yes.
But to an extent, you are not incorrect. There is leadership given to those, for the most part, in the hierarchy and governance, because Cheliax as a culture, as a country, grants power to those able to understand how to deal with the devils, and in the learning of how to deal with devils, learn how to deal with other people. Those who don't have the knowledge and experience may not be the best people for those roles, and so end up in roles that are more appropriate for them. And yes, there are some peoples who are virtually slaves. There are some who are not civilized, who would not recognize civilization, and
Hold on.
who step up from there.
I'm very confused.
Again, a statement. What's the question?
Why did you let the wolf go?
Now, there is no reasonable way for you to know about any wolf that we have dealt with.
Yes.
But I dreamed
also
about
in-
it.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen? Did you let a wolf go?
Yes, yes, we did.
How very curious. Seems odd that you would let the companion of a killer go free. And we'll end it there.
I did ask if I could do the crafting rune
Yes.
stuff while they're busy doing this.
Yeah, we will sort that all off if that's okay, because that's quite a nice
Okay.
place to end. So we'll do that one, and we'll do the roll for that off screen. That was a short one, but yes, welcome to the crazy that is Dorianna. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you all soon when everybody's back. So yes, have a good evening, everybody. We'll catch you around soon. Thank you very much for watching, and ta-ta for now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.